Welcome to my review of last night's Dynamite and Rampage. This one's going to be a big one. A lot was going on, a lot was being said, a lot of little things a lot of people probably didn't notice. It's a mix of this and that and trying to build storylines out of where storylines usually aren't. So we start off the show. They showed a cold opening is basically the Bucks interfered with Tony Khan coming out and talking and saying that he's still in Jacksonville and he's not in Canada last night in Winnipeg. And they interfere with him through the satellite feed and stop it. But then Swerve comes out to start the show like a true champion, the champion we deserve. Again with the red eyes, but whatever, And then they had the Bucks jump up on the screen talking to Swerve. Let me get a drink of my Mountain Dew. Okay. And they start talking to Swerve and saying this, saying that, how, you don't want to push them because they will create total chaos. And that's what basically they were trying to do, is bring chaos into the show. Change the world, in their words. And then we have that, and then they talk about how a friend of theirs is standing at the gate or the stage in Gorilla, ready to walk out and accept his challenge to be at Double or Nothing, and it turns out to be none other than Christian Cage. Comes out with the whole patriarchy, and eventually Christian then jumps Swerve and turns there and tears down Winnipeg crowd. He's Canadian anyhow, but he's not a good Canadian. And then we go into all that. Christian jumps Swerve, and we move beyond that to the first match of the night, which is the Cope Open. Now, Adam Copeland, since getting sprayed in the eyes with the mist, he ain't been quite the same. But Adam Copeland was going to face one of the members of the House of Black. But we didn't know if it was going to be Malachi Black, or if it was going to be Brody King, or if it was going to be Buddy Matthews. And he didn't know which member he was going to face. And then all of a sudden, we hear music play. It's the House of Black music. And it's Buddy Matthews. In my opinion, that was the best choice of all the members of the House of Black they could have did, because Buddy Matthews, he can go day in, day out, all night, all day. He can sit there and wrestle for hours. And it's a TNT title match in the Cope Open. At one point, it looked like Copeland injured his shoulder, doing a tope suicida to the outside of the ring. Then there was a double headbutt, a double 9 count during the match, double crossbody, which then showed that Buddy Matthews has either some kind of internal bleeding or something, because he's bleeding from the mouth. Sorry. And then he hits Buddy with an avalanche impaler, which is his impaler to DDT from the top rope. But I noticed during it that Copeland was wearing the Calgary Hitmen hockey team's kick pads. Then he goes to try and do the concerto on him, on Buddy Matthews, and then Malachi's there. He's standing in the ring when the lights go out. He comes back on. There's Malachi. And he tells him to hit Buddy in the head. And Buddy's sitting there he's telling him, hit me. I think they're trying to pull that kind of mysticism again with being sprayed, and Cope is fighting it. But for how long will he be able to fight it? Then the lights go out again, the lights come back on, and there's only Copeland standing in the ring with a chair in his hand and a chair on the mat. And they kept talking about how him being misted in the eyes and calling it the mist of blackness. I don't know what else you could call it, because that's technically what it is, the mist of blackness. We go into page 2, And the next match is actually going to be Samoa Joe versus Isaiah Cassidy. I kind of felt right away it was going to be a squash match, which it technically was, because there's no way Isaiah Cassidy's even on the same level as Samoa Joe. But it was a funny and entertaining match. There was no way Isaiah Cassidy even be able to beat Joe. It was kind of funny and entertaining, and then Joe, of course, squashes him with the Muscle Buster, and we're done there. And then Sky Blue challenges Willow to a TBS title match on Rampage later in the evening, because that was the third hour. And then we have Orange Cassidy does a promo where he's starting to he talked a lot. He did more talking in one little interview there than I've heard him talk about ever talk. But then Trent comes out, starts blaming him for everything that happened between him and Chuck, saying Chuck will never be able to wrestle again. And what's his name takes off after Trent and gets stopped by security, and Chris Statlander stops him. And next thing you know, Don Callis comes out, walks over to OC, and talks to him in his ear, and they walk away together. And then we go into another promo where it's the Elite promo where Jack Perry talks about sacrifice and being created into a scapegoat, which he was. I mean, come on, 8 months to come back? That's ridiculous. Shouldn't have took so long. Let's see. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. I had a quick little thing there. I got myself a chime card. Yeah. Okay, then we have, like I was talking about, how Jack Perry talks about sacrifice and being a scapegoat, which he was. He should never have been the one left out for 8 months after Punk left the company and went to another company altogether and became a star overnight like he already was. Anyhow, with that being said, I feel in that instance, Jack should have been back a long time ago. So, I'm just waiting to see where that leads to later on. Then we had the Jericho Shibata FTW for the World match for the title. And there's apparently they must have had a sale on trash can lids and trash can lids and tables and chairs, because last night there was a lot of them. But yeah, he had his FTW trash can lid and a black bag full of Winnipeg Jets hockey pucks. That's something new. I didn't even catch that one right away until after I looked at it a second time. And during the match, Jericho picks up a puck, throws a puck into Shibata's face, and smacks him in the nose. And you can see he was bleeding from the nose after that. Jericho puts a trash can on Shibata and starts hitting it with the kendo stick like he sometimes does. But then it seems like there's no effect to Shibata. Shibata just seems to be following him with the trash can over his eyes, not being able to see him. And he literally just headbutts Jericho with the trash can. Then drop kicks him for a 2 count. Then it becomes a kendo sword fight where they're on their knees just beating each other with kendo sticks. Then Shibata suplexes Jericho onto it again. But then at some point in time, it becomes table time for Jericho. And Big Bill comes out to help Jericho. And now Jericho has a new protege in Big Bill. And after that, we get a promo where Willow accepts the challenge from Sky Blue for the tag team title. Wait, I got another page here. Missed a page. Sorry. There's a page missing. Yeah. Yeah.
I have some
I swear there's another page here missing. I might put it on the other page here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Yeah, she accepts it. And then we have Claudio Castagnoli versus Brian Cage, Mr. GMSI. Those who know. It was a slow start. like you would expect with two big guys. It was a lot of meat type power versus power match. It was straight up the Swiss Superman versus Brian Cage, the Machine. Um, some of the greatest stuff I've seen both of them do for a while. We had the Swiss swing into the sharpshooter. It had a big ending. Castagnoli won the match. We had the Tiger Feint kick. We had the sit down power bomb. It was just an amazing match. It started off slow, but it ended big. I'm talking monstrously big match. And then we walked down and we had the Professor Serena Deeb versus Mariah May. And starts off with Serena doing what she does best, teaching a clinic. And just teaching a clinic about doing a quad lock where it locks her up and all that stuff. And I mean, you could just see that Deeb was wrestling down to Mariah's level to make it look better for Mariah because she's still not at that same level. But Mariah May is a very powerful wrestler and really a tough cookie, really is. But it ends up being Serena Deeb gets the win because Toni Storm throws in the towel. Kind of confused me because now Toni Storm has to face Serena Deeb at the pay-per-view for the title. And then we go into the final promo at the end. You know, we have Kenny Omega comes out, starts doing his talking about his diverticulitis, what can happen, why he's been out of action. He's not really able to do much because, I mean, if his intestines rupture, he can die, and he may never be able to come back to wrestle again. But he's talking about that he's getting better, and he will be able to be wrestling. I mean, he is the 7-star promo god. He really is. He is the best bout machine. During it, you had Rainmaker come out and say he's the best bout machine. Then you had Jack come out with a chair and hit him in the stomach, which if I can see where wrestling can make that look good, but it's a different story altogether when it comes down to it. Jack attacks Kenny, and then next thing you know, the Bucks come out yelling at Jack and Rainmaker about what they're doing, and then the Bucks do the EVP trigger on Kenny, and you can see that, you know, there is a third EVP, and they can't be in total control of the show without him being a part of it as long as he's there. And during that time, also, we had Rocky Romero challenge Kyle O'Reilly to a match on Rampage. And at that point, that would be at the end of Dynamite. And then we move into the Rampage, which the first match was Jay White versus Dante Martin. My bad. It was a chop fest and a lot of flying around the ring, you know, because you got two guys that can really do a lot of high fly and stuff. The experience of Jay White was definitely showing. He pulled off an Indian deathlop. He did an eye grab escape. He did a dragon sleeper backbreaker, which I haven't seen in years. A lot of drop kicks in the match between the two of them. There was a Uranagi Sambo Slam. Great move there. A half and half Dragon suplex. Great move there. But then at the end, Jay White does a Blade Runner, gets the win. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. But then afterwards, he does a paradigm shift on the Dante Martin. And I think that was a little bit of a throw at John Moxley because, you know, the paradigm shift is all his. And then we got Kyle O'Reilly versus Rocky Romero. It was a great technical match, amazing back and forth. It was a really good match. It took a quick 1, 2, 3 to get the win, and Kyle O'Reilly got the win. And that looked like a great match there. But then we had another promo where Saraya and Harley come out and start doing a promo. against Mariah May, challenging Mariah May, and I think that with Saraya and Harley being very similar in style, and then Mariah May being a real tough cookie, I think that's going to end up being a good match later on. But then we go into the street fight between Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. We have a street fight. Willow comes out strong. It's straight up a hardcore match from the beginning. But then you got, she came out extremely strong, Willow. She just looked like she was going to make this a squash match at the beginning. Then we got Sky comes back with trash can lids, chairs being on sale, tables on sale. Trash cans, they must have had a deal up in Canada on all that stuff because there was a lot. And then the whole time the match is going on, I'm like sitting there waiting to see if Mercedes comes out, which she doesn't. But then Willow Willow hit a pounce so hard that it was like you couldn't even understand where it was coming from. There was a black bag, but it didn't have pucks this time. It was actually thumbtacks. And Willow did a suplex off the second rope onto onto Sky Blue, right on the thumbtacks, where she ended up landing the thumbtacks more thumbtacks in her than she got in Sky Blue. Then there was a Stokely and Chris Statlander were not allowed at ringside. They were banned from ringside during this whole match. I forgot to mention that. Then Sky Blue brings out a barbed wire board from under the ring and puts it on top of a table. And during the back and forth, Willow got her locked up into a waist lock, lifted her up, and then just did a swinging sit-down power bomb through the table and the barbed wire board, and got the three on the outside of the ring. 1, 2, 3. And Willow wins again. And that basically completes the night. It was a great, great match. It was a bunch of great matches. I'm going to go back to the beginning of all this here. I got to find the beginning. That one there. This one here. Okay. Then we have the beginning where we Swerve. The Swerve thing was a 7 out of 10 to me. I liked that. I liked how it worked. We had the Copeland House of Black match, 6.5 out of 10. Then we had the Samoa Joe Isaiah Kennedy, 5.5 out of 10. Kind of like halfway, kind of in the middle. The Jericho Shibata, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Then I give the Claudio Brian Cage match an 8 out of 10. I thought it was an awesome match, the way they were able to start off great like that, start slow and big. The Serena Deeb, Mariah May, I gave it a 4. Wasn't my thing. I give the Kenny Omega thing, I give it a 7 out of 10 also, that whole thing there. Then we go into the next one. I give the Jay White Dante Martin 7 out of 10. I give the Kyle O'Reilly Rocky Romero match, that was a 9 out of 10 all day, every day. And then the Willow Sky Blue, and I'm saying I'd give that one, I'd say 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. I give that match. And so, with that being said, let's see what we can do out of all this. Ready? We got 7. Let me do the math. I'll give you one real quick. We got 7, 6.5. Next one will be 5.5, 5.5. 7 out of 10, so that's a 7, 8, hold on, we have an 8 there, okay, 8, a 4, that one ruined the night for me, I give that one a 7. And I'll do this one separate. 7, 9, 6.5. Okay, here we go. We got 0. 1, okay, 7, 8, 8 and 6, 14, 14, 5, 19, 19, 7. 19, 7, oh, 8, 9, that's a 4 there. Okay, so we got, that's 10, 22, 23, 35, 42. Okay, 42. 42, 49, 58, and 58, 64.5. Okay, so we have 64.5. Divide that by how many matches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, divide that by 10. 10 goes to 4. Okay, we have 4. Okay, we have 40. That would be 0.5. Okay, 10 goes to 60. And that'd be okay. So 46. Now I take the 46.4. 46.4. No, 2. Okay, so through the night, I'd say average. Our average on this will be roughly a 7 out of 10. So 7 out of 10 for the whole night, and we'll be and that's basically how the night went. All right, 7 out of 10, and from that will be the end. So at the end here, give me your opinion. Let me know what you thought. You know, I'd like to hear from you. I really would. I'm not getting no responses lately, but I'd like to know. I also would like to know, what else would you like to hear from? You want to see more about NXT? You want to see more about TNA, New Japan? Let me know what you want. Give me a sub, please. I'm trying to hit the 100. I'll be so happy once I hit 100. Give me a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll be getting back to you as soon as possible with my next review, and probably going to be sometime tomorrow with the preview for SmackDown. So with that being said, y'all have a good day, and deuces.